Hi everyone, welcome to Casual Watch Talk on a Tuesday. It's been a couple of weeks, a while since I've done a Tuesday one. I've been traveling a lot for work, so we thought we'd do a little bit of an impromptu one. But yeah, welcome. We've got a panel, got a full panel. So let's do a wristwatch check. Patrick, you're in the
check.
Yeah, wristwatch check.
I'm in hot seat
Patrick,
today.
yeah,
All right,
you're
well,
in the lucky
I've
square.
got a pretty exciting wristwatch for the day because it just got here about 2 hours ago from FedEx. Da, da, da,
Oh,
da, da, da,
yeah.
da, da, da.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
my
Beautiful.
my gift from Switzerland finally came in. This is the Tantalum Chrono from Panerai, so the PAM 192, and I gotta get it all sized up and get it on the wrist, and it's got a
Love
20-year-old leather strap here, which actually is in pretty decent shape. So, but I kind of feel weird about wearing somebody else's leather strap.
Get rid of
So,
it.
yeah. So,
Tantalum as well.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, because the Tantalum 172 is the three-hander normal, and I've had that for a little while, and I've been looking for the 192, which is the chrono. And even though you guys know I'm a chrono hater, just the fact
bad
that
boy.
it's
Bad boy.
I know, but just the fact that it's a tantalum watch, I'm in love.
Oh,
You do know
awesome.
where the world's biggest supplier of tantalum is, don't you?
Oh God, no, I don't. What are you going to tell me?
Boyerstown, Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Hi, Bill.
I didn't know that. Cool. Well, there you go. On that bombshell, Thomas.
Congratulations, anyway, Patrick.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm wearing the Gin Clear. It's the second hour watches, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
Peter Sargison's company coming out of Australia.
Okay.
It's the Gin Clear Diver, and it's got no dates, Sam. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. No, I
But
thought we would get.
It's a micro brand coming out of Australia. Second hour watches.
Okay.
And it's got a nice pastel blue dial, which I really like.
Nice.
Using an SW200 movement. And yeah, it's a nice one. It's quite cheap one. They did the mandala after this, and I'm not sure. I haven't been keeping tabs on them, what they've been doing recently, but doing a few of the watches.
Okay.
So Peter Sargison's company,
Okay.
second hour.
Oh, cool.
Look out
Okay.
for 'em.
Well, there you go. Check it out. Bit of free sponsorship on the channel. Mark.
Well, I'm still
Yes.
with the Chrono Techna
Okay.
Nice.
that I had on Sunday.
Nice.
Again, it's another watch without a date window. So sorry for Sam's blood pressure. And to go with the black theme, it's also got the blacked out rotor and smoky bit on the back.
Lovely.
I do
Yeah, I
like a
like that.
smoke sapphire.
Yeah.
Except if they use it on a dial, the old Christopher Ward with the smoke sapphire dial was not didn't work out too well.
Okay.
So I'm wearing first of all, I'm wearing the Jack Mason Espresso GMT, which they very kindly sent in, and we were very
Beautiful.
happy to have Peter on the show the other day. But I fell victim. This is the first time this has happened to me. I fell victim to the curse of buying a watch from Japan, where I bought one of the first ever fully metal G-Shocks, which was this MRG. So not only is it like really tiny, I wasn't expecting it to be so small, but because it came from Japan, it literally I cannot.
Oh no.
I cannot.
Oh,
Like,
no.
I know. So, but what was cool about it, and what kind of bought it, is it was I don't know if this was a special edition, but it says on it 30th anniversary Casio Workers Union. So I don't know if it was a gift to the Workers Union or whether this was because of one special
Right.
edition. But it's amazing. It's a 90s watch and it looks brand new. The links are like super expensive, but I might just keep it around. I might see if my wife might wear it because it's like kind of small. But yeah, it's kind of. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm going to do a video on metal G-Shock. So
Yeah.
that looks like it would be a stretch on my 6 3/4 inch wrist.
yeah, it is. Yeah, if we do the old see the Jack Mason is like
Yeah.
massive in comparison to it, and this is a 40. So I don't know whether this is.
Well, that's
like
pretty
a
cool,
30.
though. I mean, it said for mini wristed guys like me, that might actually
Yeah.
work. That's cool that they
Yeah,
make them
well,
small.
I'll bring it with me if you're when I see you next.
Great stuff.
Okay, so we're going to keep it as a questions and answers show today, but we did have a kick-off topic, and that was, although I couldn't watch this because the iPlayer is blocked in the US, even though I used a VPN, but they got wide to it. But apparently there was quite a good BBC Three documentary on violent watch thieves, and they actually
I saw it.
go on, Thomas. You fire away.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, there's a reporter reporting. She said that she'd got a text from somebody who'd robbed Aled Jones, the singer.
Yeah.
And she went and met this person who later got 2 years in prison. It was just before his court appearance. And she went and met him, and he had a machete with him in the car while she was interviewing him. And he was basically saying, "Oh, I've if people have got the money to wear these watches, then I don't see any reason why I can't take them." And it was really sinister. It was. I mean, he had this mask on, and then she met another person who was the sort of the leader of a gang of bike, scooter,
the moped
scooter thieves.
muggers.
Yeah, moped muggers. And he was the man that sort of like he sent out young girls to bars and restaurants as spotters, and they would look in restaurants to see who was wearing the different watches and talk to people in bars, see what watches they were wearing, and then they'd call him, and then if the girls had spotted anybody, he would call them moped gangs to go to where the girls were to get the watches off people. And it was really sinister because he was walking around with this Sea Dweller on, Sky Dweller, Rolex Sky Dweller. And at one point they interviewed him and the girl, one of the girls, and he got really nervous and irritable at one point, and he said, "Oh, I'll just get my case." And he had a gun in his case, and he put it in his pocket. And later on, they reported that a rival watch theft gang, had cottoned onto him and were after him. So it's almost as if drug wars have been taken over by watch theft wars.
Yeah, because drugs now, like I know Manchester is being gripped partly by this fentanyl, but fentanyl is actually pennies on the dollar in comparison to like heroin, isn't it, and stuff. It's like a very cheap drug to get hold of. So I guess it would make sense that they're going for these more sort of high value.
Well, one of the men said that if I don't see a watch that's worth under £10,000, I won't bother with it. For those, and they were all going for Rolexes. It seemed that because Rolex is the hyped watch brand, and that everyone knows Rolex as a jewelry brand, that everyone knows the Rolex name. And he was saying that they were saying that, how did you learn about watches? And he said, "Oh, well, I hear rappers talking about them, and I hear all the rappers wearing them and talking about them and in their songs and mentioning I'm wearing my Rolex and I'm wearing my, Richard Mille and I'm wearing whatever watch." So that's how they get educated about the watch scene. They're not actual enthusiasts. They just know these names from rap records, which was bizarre. And It was a really interesting program, but quite bizarre. It was almost as if it was. I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's just almost as if it was. I can't think
kind of
of
a
the
little
word.
bit too close to home, was it? Because I didn't realize London's like the #1 city for watch crime in the world or something. And you'd think, wow,
Unbelievable.
you'd think it would be somewhere, somewhere far away that was like that, or like Johannesburg or something like that. You would think is, maybe that's doing a
They're
disservice to South
targeting all
Africans,
the
but
main all the main areas as well, all the big popular areas like Chelsea and Kensington and all the shopping areas, Mayfair and you know all the nice restaurants are, and it was a bit sort of. I didn't really like the way that they said all these kids are coming from council estates, and they're targeting the rich people.
yeah,
And it seemed a bit sort of
if it was like a sort of a Robin Hood type of thing.
a bit
Yeah.
sort of a bit. I didn't
That's a
really
bit of
like
the British
way,
mentality, isn't it? Sometimes, like, when I grew up in the north, it was a bit like that.
I didn't like that sort of aspect that they were
No.
pointing out. But it's all these kids are coming from council estates, and as if nobody else is involved, because obviously when these people are selling the watches, there's people higher up in the chain who are dealing with the watchmaker side of it, and the watch dealer and distributor side of it, who are selling these watches.
Yeah, you
Who
can't
are
fence a flipping sea dweller in McDonald's, can you? Or
no,
down down the pub.
but the
Maybe in
people
Mayfair, but I don't know anywhere
Yeah.
else.
but the people who are selling these on to the people who are buying them off the thieves, obviously more educated people who aren't from council estates, who are
Yeah.
organized crime,
Yeah, they used
So-
as the kind of foot soldiers.
Yeah, absolutely.
For me, the
it's
worst part
interesting.
is, I was going to say, for me, it's just the worst part is, here you are, you're going out on your good night in the town, you think some pretty girl's hitting on you, and you're having a great night, and next thing you know, not only do you not get the date because she's just staring at your wrist, but then you walk out and you get dumped and you get robbed. That just sounds like a really horrible, horrible thing. And yeah, I read the article and I kind of saw the sort of flagrant disrespect the people had, saying like, "Oh, these people can afford it, so they can afford to lose it," and that's just a horrible mentality.
Yeah, it's the trauma of being. I mean, I've been mugged a few times growing up in Manchester, and it's the actual trauma of having it happen to you. That's what my thing about. Not to go on about homage watches again, but these homage watches, they're just going to draw the same amount of attention. Like no honey trap is going to be like, oh, I didn't realize that wasn't a real,
Well,
real Rolex.
they showed a police crew that was going out. There'd been a dedicated police crew that was a watch crime police unit, and they went out and they'd arrested somebody who was a spotter, and they were questioning him, saying, showed him in handcuffs, and they were asking him questions, saying, "Oh, you'd been looking at people's wrists and following them round, and you're guilty of this." And they didn't show his face, but a policeman was saying, "I've been watching this man. He's been walking around looking at people's wrists all evening. People coming out of bars and people coming out of shops and things like that, restaurants." And
Yeah. I was in Atlanta airport the other day, actually, and I the first time I'd ever seen anybody in the wild wearing a Chapard Air Eagle, is it?
Alpine Eagle.
Alpine Eagle.
Really
And I was going to go
nice.
up and say something to him, but it was like late at night, and I was like, "Oh, would it be a bit weird if I was like just started chatting to him?" Because I think it would have been fine in the US, but in Manchester, I never would have done that. We never would just go up. Oh, I like your watch, because they were immediately thought. I remember when I first moved to the US, actually, and I was at a petrol station, a gas station, And I was filling up my car, and somebody approached me at the gas station. They're like, "Oh, that's a really nice car." And if that was Manchester and somebody came up and said that to you, you're like, yeah, he's going to try and steal my car here, like
it's
on the
sussing you
forecourt.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I was ready to like douse the guy with the petrol. But it's like, no, it's like,
dear.
oh, I've always no, he's like, oh, really? Yeah. How does it drive? I was been thinking of that model myself, and we were just chatting away, and I was like, wow, that was a couple of weeks after I'd moved to the US, so it was still a culture shock that random people complimenting you on something isn't because they're trying to con you or trying to steal it off you.
It does raise that point of, can you approach people now? You used to be able to feel comfortable approaching people and saying, "Oh, I like your watch. I'm a watch enthusiast as well," and strike up conversation. It puts into doubt that fact that, can you do that now? Do you make the person feel uncomfortable, or do you?
Yeah.
Will that person withdraw and back off and say, "Oh no, I'm not interested"? And are those conversations only limited to Red Bar meetups now, or things like that? I mean,
yeah, it's funny. Orange Hand says, "I pretty much do the watch spotting job for free. I just don't call criminals when I see something cool." Well, that we'd be the worst criminals ever, because we do the watch spotting and then we end up with no money because we're buying the watches.
Yeah, but I mean, to your point, Thomas, that's exactly how I am. I will only pretty much say a nice watch comment at work where people don't think that I'm going to murder them, but I'll never do it on the street anymore. And I so wanted to, because last time I went to New York, my wife's sister took us to some little buffet brunch place, and I don't know what rich part of New York we were in, but I mean, I'm seeing Platonas and I'm seeing like FP Journes, and I just wanted to be like, hi. But yeah, I didn't want to set them off and have them feel like I was going to be waiting for them outside. So I completely agree. It's not worth it unless you're in a controlled environment.
Yeah, I sat next to somebody on a plane, and we were I got upgraded to the business class because I travel a lot, so it wasn't anything, But the guy next to me had a solid gold AP chrono on, a Royal Oak chrono. I said to him, "Wow, you don't see many of them in the wild." He's like, "Oh yeah, quite like it." But then I could see him like putting it under his cuff, and we were, I think also, yeah, you're right. I think you definitely have to be careful, but yeah, it's an interesting reminder, isn't it? That I guess that show that just to be prudent when you're out and about.
There are a couple of Scottish Watches podcasts where they've talked to members of the Metropolitan Police. Episode 361 from May 22 and episode 251 from about a year earlier, where they had the hour-long interviews with a couple of members of the Met Police, what used to be called the Flying Squad, I think. So, and then there's, Paul Thorpe. But if you're in London, be very careful, particularly if you're in the swanky areas with a watch. I'm lucky I don't own anything like that, but certainly just be aware that keep your watch hidden. I know you might want to show off your £30,000 watch, but that's cash to somebody.
Yeah, so you said 261 and 251.
361, 251.
Yeah, right. Okay. I'll just flash that up on the thing just in case anybody's watching this back. 361 and 251.
That's right.
Cool. Yeah, really good episodes. Right. Well, that was a good topic. So while we're waiting for any questions to come in, a couple of things that I noticed on the old interwebs. First up was the old
absolutely love it, that one.
Yeah, the new Aquastar.
Aquastar but what's it called?
Benthos.
Benthos. Yeah, this is the first watch in the 70s that could make it 500 meters deep which wasn't made of a monoblock case, and was actually issued to the US Navy in the 70s.
Oh right, okay.
I think it's a cracking watch, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
It's,
they've done the this. It looks like it had an actual second hand and not because it looks like the second hand's a GMT hand,
It
but it
does,
isn't, is
doesn't
it?
it? Yeah. It's a bit like the Synchron military there. I mean, Acustar and are owned by Synchron,
Yeah,
and which is Rick Murray's company. I mean, Rick Murray was head of Doxa until 2019, and I mean, and he managed Synchron when they owned Doxa during the 70s, and yeah, he's a a sort of dive watch hero for a lot of people, Rick Murray.
yeah.
But I bought the Synchron Military, which was the copy or the predecessor to Patrick's Doxa Army.
Yeah.
Uh,
Somebody's asking us about the new Doxa range, which yeah, Nathan's asking us thoughts on the new Doxa range. I really like them. They were the ceramic bezels and are the dial ceramic as well. This blue is
Patrick's your man for Doxa.
yeah. What do you
Yeah,
think of
no.
these, Patrick?
Oh, I definitely I was jealous for all the Dubaians who out there had the option to possibly get the more special version of this kind of commercially available one.
All 50 of them.
Yeah, all 50 of
Was
them.
that right? There was only 50.
It has the blue bezel like you like, Sam, except instead of the wave pattern blue, it has a blue mother of pearl dial. And I mean, at least in the pictures, it looked really, really sharp. And
It was really nice in the hand as well, I have to tell you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you saw it, Mark. When you
so
Oh,
I
yeah.
said, that's pretty fun. And, just how fun is it? There's only 50. It's kind of celebrating a special watch event. And I'm assuming the price wasn't crazy high, probably more expensive than the standard, but, probably somewhere down to earth. So I think it's a great little watch.
I must admit, seeing the Doxers in person, because they did have a stand at Watch Week, they were, they're much nicer in the flesh than I had previously thought. The Dirk Pitt version, they had one there. The Clive Cussler Dirk Pitt.
Oh yeah, okay.
That was actually
Yeah.
really nice in real life, and it sort of all the press images didn't do it justice. So I was kind of that's the one, the Clive Cussler. I kind of much more impressed with Doxa once I'd seen a case full of them and could play with them for half an hour than I had been before. Still not sure I want one, but they were really nice. They went way up in my estimation.
Yeah, because there is a store, Mayer's, in the not Mall of Millennia, but the Florida Mall has Doxa. They started to stock Doxa, I think, a couple of years ago now. So I have seen them in the case, but that was always the thing. Because what always put me off was the tiny hour hand for some reason. But yeah, when you see it in person, it's not. It does. Is it the shark? The beta here. Yeah, it's. But yeah, I do really like this blue. I mean, I know this is obviously just a computer render, isn't it? But if it looks like that in real life, I think that looks really cool.
Yeah, the Caribbean is the name for the blue one, I think, and the Professional is the orange, and the Sea Rambler is the silver one.
Is that wave? Mark. Are those waves printed on, or are they inscribed?
They look
that
I
don't know, but they look like they're etched. I mean, I hope they are.
Yeah, it does.
Because if they're printed, that's a real no-no.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I had a Christopher Ward that had the blue. I think those are print. Hard to
no, they look at I mean, to me, that looks etched from the render.
Yeah,
but I had a Christopher Ward that had a blue dial with the blue printing for the waves, and it only looked right at one certain angle. Every other angle you had it at, the color changed in a really nasty way because the ink or the paint they'd used just didn't work. So I've always been put off by printed gear shade dials. It's okay on white where you can't see it, but blue in particular, that Trident Mark II was awful.
Yeah,
it was a beautiful blue, but they buggered it with with the gear, with the printed gear shape.
Yeah, that was that the Blue Ocean one or the Blue
No,
Marine
this
Foundation?
is going back 6 or 7 years now. The Trident Mark II.
Okay.
What you're thinking of is the C60 Tide.
Yes.
Which
Yes,
has and the C60 Blue, which was smaller, and they have proper painted segments, and one of them has a small amount of lume in the paint. It's not the same effect at all.
Yeah. Interesting. Next up, we've got Aaron, who was the first person to buy something on my new store on district.com / casual watch review. So Aaron, thank you for purchasing the Christopher Ward mug that we had on there. And yeah, anybody else is more than welcome to check out the store. I'll leave a link in the description down below. But yeah, the new casual watch reviews store. In fact, let me just flash it up. I might as well plug it because it is mine. So thanks Aaron, for being the first. It should arrive with you soon. First purchaser. So he's asking, what do we think of the new Nevada Grenken Antarctic Polar just released? I think is this. I saw this somewhere. Let's have a look. Is it on the first page? Oh, it might be on the first page of Hodinkee. Yeah, this one. Is it this one? Yeah, the 35mm. Way too small for me, that. But I mean, I think they've done a great job of. If this is the original, they've done almost looks like a 1-for-1.
I know Nevada.
So a distressing lack of originality and design forethought.
Yeah,
it's just a copy. It's that we sort of complain about homages, and that's just a fake. Do some work, employ some designers, move on, Nevada Grenchen.
Yeah,
I think yeah.
I love their chronographs that they do, Nevada Grenchen. Really like those, but this one, yeah, Mark's right. It's
they've gone for a cheeky Grand Seiko element, haven't they?
Yeah.
In there, putting the medallion in the back. Yeah.
Well, Omega do it too. My Globemaster has a medallion in the middle of the sapphire.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
Mark nailed that one perfectly. It's too the same, and I'm afraid. What's the price on this thing?
Let's have a look. It's got to be 800.
I mean, I'm gonna say if this thing's like dirt cheap, $500 maybe, but yeah, I'm voting more like 1,000, and that's a no.
So apparently we're supposed to be looking on Ace Jewelers website.
You're saying not that one. Not that one.
Son. Oh, not that one. Not that one.
Oh.
But, that gave me the excuse of being a grumpy dinosaur, so thank you.
Ace Jewelers. Ace Jewelers, not a sponsor. Nevada. Okay. Okay. The Super Antarctic Polar.
Oh.
Okay.
That's starting to set off Explorer 2 vibes, though.
Yeah.
This has been
that one.
Yeah, didn't they have a second one of these as well? There's your one that you like.
Yeah, I like those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chronomasters.
Yeah, it's got some serious. Some serious.
That's the one Aaron's referring to, I think.
Okay, I see.
Ace by Nevada Grenchen.
So it's a collaboration between actually Ace Jewelers and Nevada. So there's only 50.
Oh, interesting.
Well, thankfully.
So
they've got the medallion in the back.
So, I mean, at least it looks nice. I think the first one was pretty boring. This one, at least, it looks nice. To me, it would be all about that price. And if it's reasonable and it's a good quality watch, hey, go for it.
Yeah. This has got a bit of GS vibes going on as well with that kind of geometric case. Okay.
Michael's last comment looks like a TGV homage. Perfect.
We need to get Michael on. We just need more questions about Nixon and fossil watches, and he's there. He's our resident fossil expert. So, and he needs to come on. He's been on the show once, and that was like 3 years ago. But we need to get him on. He's we need a dose of his humor. Okay. Oh yeah, so collab. And then, okay, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, keep the questions coming. I was on so you did see me. I was sneakily on Hodinky because I was going to ask the panel about. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Well, first of all, this is a total side thing. I tried to go on Watch Pro to see if there was any stories. Look at the state of these adverts. There's that many adverts. You can't see the flipping what is a story and what isn't. They're like overlapping. I mean, are they that desperate for money that they have to literally every spare piece of white like advert? You can't tell what's story.
But they do have a nice picture of the new Christopher Ward.
They do have a nice picture of the new Christopher Ward. Yeah, and I'm getting a sneaky new Christopher Ward coming in the post, which should be good. But yeah,
you can't tell what's an article and what's an advert, can you?
Exactly. And this actual Hodinky did an article on these Braun watches, and they sold out like straight away. But I quite like this Paul Smith, who's a British designer, isn't he? Yeah, I quite like this Paul Smith one that they did.
I noticed that one. Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, I'm so torn on that watch because I think it looks awesome, but there's no way I could own a watch that has my Razor brand on it. I can't do it.
Well,
that's why I use Philips.
Yeah, the thing is though that if you look at Braun history, like Johnny Ives, who the original iPod was based on a Braun product. Like Apple took a lot of inspiration from the Bauhaus Braun design.
Braun is Dieter Rams. It's quite a different design style.
Okay, then whatever that one is.
His Dieter Rams' book, The 10 Principles of Design, is a very interesting read because Braun design is classic in its simplicity and functionality, but also looking great.
Yeah. Well, whichever design language it is, Apple took a lot of inspiration from them back in the day, or the start of the iPod. Yeah,
they did simplicity in a much more attractive way than Bauhaus ever managed.
Yeah. Okay. I always thought it was Bauhaus, but I appreciate the correction. Better you doing it live than somebody in the comments.
I like Braun, but it turns it into a fashion watch, doesn't it? It's like having Tommy Hilfiger on it or something.
Well,
not quite as bad. I mean, I'm not dissing Paul Smith that much, but it's having a fashion brand on. It's a bit.
Yeah, I'm a huge. Actually, I've just seen if there's one for sale. Oh, it's not loaded. I'm a huge Mini fan, and Paul Smith was always famous for doing the Mini, the Paul Smith
Mini.
Yeah. The classic Mini he did. I think this was like one of the last production. 98 would have been one of the last production runs. But yeah, he did that classic Mini. Awesome. Okay, and then what else? There was a couple of things that I noticed on here. Watch Pro was a dud. Yeah, this a watch totally out of my realm. But did anybody see this Roger Dubuis Knights of the Round Table watch?
Oh. No, I did not, and I'm happy I didn't.
Yeah.
It's burning my eyes.
So this is Damascus titanium. 18 karat. The figures are 18 karat gold. I had to read the full article because they're not. I thought they might be mechanized, but they're not. They're not. Or automated. They're not. So they don't move, but each one's different. And then they did it.
Poor Roger Dubuis. He's rolling over in his grave, saying, "What did they do to my brand?"
Oh, is that? I didn't know that. Is he? Long gone, is he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Roger Dubuis he made normal watches, and then whatever the super company is that owns the brand turned them into the Jacob & Co. wannabe brand that they are now, and it's criminal.
I think this is quite a feat of engineering, though, isn't it? To have each of the individual. They're like laser etched, so I don't know whether.
I remember seeing the Roger Dubuis stand at Watches and Wonders, and it was just a mess of watches like this.
Oh, really?
Well, the Excalibur, but in sort of like red sapphire glass and just lots of colored watches with the star on it and
like oversaturated colours.
yeah, oversaturated colors all over the place. Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
do they even have a? Oh, yeah. Okay, so here I was checking out the website.
They were next to Hublot, which is quite a good sort of pairing.
Yeah.
I thought,
And to me, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah,
even though
there
they're
you go.
probably better built than Hublot, Hublot beats them hands down. Like, Hublot's watches are 10 times prettier than Roger Dubuis. Ugh.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking away from their horology. I mean, Roger Dubuis, great horology.
Yeah.
Yeah. But design-wise, no.
Yeah, interesting. Let's have a look now. Next question is, for the panel, any watches planning to buy or sell? Well, if you want to see my watches for sale, you can go on district.com/casual watch reviews.
Yeah.
Or follow the link in the description. But yeah, Patrick, go on. You're in. You kick us off with this. You're in the lucky square.
I mean, thankfully, I don't have too many more watches that are in my, like, roundhouse of wanting to buy. I've been very lucky with the little dip in the watch economy that I think most of the flippers out there have decided to sell their watches they've been holding onto for a while, and I'm more than happy to take advantage of it. But, you know, I've got a couple watches out there that if one showed up for the right price, I would jump on, but there's not very many. In terms of selling, I actually am probably going to get, maybe after the new year, I'm going to just get rid of a couple doubles and a couple watches that I just don't wear, kind of like clothes. If they sit in my closet for 2 years, I donate them because, I mean, I've got a couple watches that I truly haven't put on my wrist in a year, and that's not fair to my watches, and it's not fair to my pocketbook, because then I can't buy more watches.
Yeah.
Mark, you're up next.
Ooh, watches I'd like to buy. Well, I'm kind of in a state of quantum uncertainty between the Bremont WR22, the Williams racing chronograph,
Okay.
and the Glashütte original 2023 special edition chronograph. Sorry, Patrick, but I do like a good chronograph.
Oh, I know. I'm in the minority.
That's the white. It would be the white dial chronograph.
Okay, so let's have a look. Oh, you did post it in the group the other day, didn't you? This one? No, that's the Alaman TT.
That's the
sorry.
Viper, yeah. Yeah. You're nowhere near the chronographs. You're in the wrong part of the site completely.
I'm in the wrong part. I was in the new release.
Do they have a racing one? A racing section?
Motorsport watches.
That's the one. Yep.
Here we go.
Should be a couple in there. Nope. Keep going. That one.
This one.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah, that is a beauty. That one.
That's quite nice.
And it's got the date on it.
Yeah.
And it's got the date on it. See, I don't,
This is a win.
Hey.
Or the Glashütte original chronograph they launched in October with the, it's their 60s chronograph. So because I don't know which one I want, I'm not buying either, which is saving me a fortune. And then I'm looking forward to the Christopher Ward concept that's coming out next year. I know they've hinted at it, and I love my C60 concept. So,
well, if I was to ever get a Christopher Ward, it would probably be a concept. So,
well, in that case, contact Mike France and put your name on the list for the forthcoming one. And you're going to have to do it without knowing what it's looking at. 6 months, 6 months out. It's the only way to get the serial number you want.
Okay, curious.
Yeah. Okay, you have to gamble. But then, of course, you can always say you don't want it and not buy it when they come for your credit card.
Exactly. Yeah, I know people that even before anybody's even known about them, they've practically the first Belcanto, wasn't it? That I know a lot of people managed to get on the list before.
Guilty.
Thomas, what you got your eye on, or what you selling, what you're buying?
I've been on the list for an Explorer 2, a Rolex Polar Explorer 2 for the past year. No call.
Wow.
I'm awaiting that. I got the email for the MB&F Mad One Green Lucky Clover because I had entered 3 times, and hadn't won. So I've paid for that, and that's on the way next year. And selling wise, I really, really would love to get a Breguet 7147 Classique, and but that's a lot of money, and I'm gonna have to sell my entire vintage Omega collection, which is mainly 1940s and 1950s
Oh wow.
Omegas. So that's going to be a job. I've got about 7 of them, and that's going to be a job
Yeah.
to sell those.
Yeah. Oh wow.
So,
So that's like the long-term goal. So that might not be next year that you get the Breguet.
no, might not be the next year. And it's
Wow.
not a good time to sell watches at the moment, and it's a terrible time, and you're not going to get good money. So
Yeah.
Well, Sam, if you could pull up James's comment, this is almost bringing a tear to my eye.
I've been on the list for OP36 at 8 ADs for 3 years.
That's insane.
That's insane, because the OP, I mean, I got the OP36 is, I mean, TJ, shout out to TJ. He got one for his wife, Black Dial, within 2 months in the US. 36 OP. Wow. And I got my date just within 4 months.
Are you after a particular color, or do you want a particular color? You're not after Tiffany blue or anything, or
They don't do the Tiffany anymore, though, do they? They don't. The OP36 is.
They do the green, don't they?
Yeah, I think they got like the green, the black. There's some other colours. Oh, he wanted the black.
The black.
I wanted the black dial. That should be their bread and butter model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James, where are you? Well, you don't have to. Don't dox yourself. But in the US, you should be able to get those no problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
to be honest,
at least I mean within. I would hope. I mean, I'm waiting for a Submariner, and it's been over a year, but that I guess a little bit. But I mean, an OP36, I didn't think those would be that popular, because I thought most people were going for the 40, 41 or whatever size it is.
Yeah, I think it's the most. No, I think the 30. I think the 36 is the most popular from what I've kind of heard. Well, from the comments that I got on my 41, a lot of people are saying that. But yeah. Well, I mean, I'm selling stuff all the time. So I sold the Magnum PI to somebody at work. The Magnum PI went to shout out to Chris at work. Thanks for the purchase. But I've got a watch coming this week that I bought with my own money. So Citizen usually send me watches in for review, and I, just to borrow them. But when I spotted the Tsukiyomi on sale at Zales for 550, I jumped on it straight away on the Black Friday deal, and I am so excited about. I've not been this excited to get a watch for ages, because it's there like titanium. It's the first atomic moon phase. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about the blue. I need to see how vibrant the blue is, but I'm really looking forward to that. It's coming on Thursday, and I got a package.
I am waiting for a Grand Seiko moment.
Yes,
another Grand Seiko moment.
Another Grand Seiko moment. Well, this one's your size, Mark. This was a 43.
That's a decent size.
43. I got where is it? I got a notification. Your package from Citizen is coming in. This was Friday. It's arriving today. So I got a knock on the door and I got the box. I'm like, wow, that's really light. Like, I knew it was titanium, but I thought it was, opened it up, and the watch came with a free set of knockoff AirPods that were Citizen branded. So they just say, I've got like a pair of soon to be available on the store. A pair of Bluetooth. Not these, but they're over there somewhere. But a pair of Bluetooth Citizen headphones. So they're putting on. So yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to that. But James Duffy actually asked just a fantastic question whilst we were going through that. This was, what's the most ridiculous excuse you've used to justify buying a watch? I think every one of my excuses is a ridiculous one for buying a watch. But anybody want to take a stab at this first?
Well, for me, this is a tricky question because am I justifying it for me or am I justifying it for a loved one? Because if it's for a loved one, I just don't tell her. And the good news is, to her, one watch looks like another watch. And as long as I receive the watch without her seeing the box, all is well. But if it's justifying for me, then I usually can talk myself into it if it's rare. So if it's rare or unique or interesting, I can say, yes, I won't see it again for a year or two. And, and then I'll try to jump on it.
Yeah, I think for me, 19 years ago when my niece was born, my first niece, I bought a watch for her. I thought, tell you what, I'll buy my niece a watch that I can give her when she's 18 or 21. And I bought a total fashion brand unknown called Lockman, and it had a diamond bezel, and it cost me £1,700 19 years ago, and they've absolutely disappeared off the map. Never heard of them now. She's not into watches. She doesn't even wear an iWatch. She's not interested in it, and it was an excuse to try and get into watches, and I thought it might be worth a bit, but that was a total flop for me.
Well, what if you spent that same amount on Amazon shares at the time at Amazon stock,
yeah, exactly.
You would have bought her a house.
Exactly. Yeah. So that totally flopped, and it's worth absolutely nothing now. It's worth about a couple of £100. So that was my excuse to. That was my spur of the moment excitement and failure.
Yeah. Don't know, Mark, have you got an interesting excuse reason?
Well, I don't normally have to justify watch purchases to my better half because she doesn't notice when a new watch comes into the house if I get to the box before she does. So I don't really have to justify them. I'll offer two. I bought this because of the movement.
Okay, yeah.
And then an excuse I've never used, but one that drives me crazy is, you've got to buy a Speedmaster Professional because it went to the moon. No, it damn well didn't. The modern Speedmaster Pro has got bugger all to do with the moon. Grow up.
This is you're projecting the silly excuse on everyone else.
It's not a moon watch. It doesn't have a 3-2-1 movement.
It's
or an 861. Yeah.
Or an 861, yeah. Some of them were 861s, but yes.
Yeah.
So
my
modern moon watch is not a moon watch in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, my wife's like a walk-in lie detector, so I have to confess every watch that I bought because she could just see it straight away. So I never get away with just spending money on watches.
I don't have to lie because she doesn't notice. So she's not asking me questions. I'm not lying to her.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, I can't even get away with that. She can. Helen can see it on my face. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the buying the Grand Seiko was my silly, because I've been to Japan and I got really into it, and I'm like, I really love a Grand Seiko. And then when I got that first one, I wasn't really feeling it. And to be honest, the second one might be finding its way on Chrono pretty soon. So there's just something that I don't know. There's just something about. I'll do a video on it. I can
empathize with that because you go somewhere and you want to make an attachment to that place, and and the best thing to remember it by, and
and actually I did buy two watches whilst I was there, but I don't have those anymore either. But
a souvenir sort of thing. To relate to, I get that.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to Dubai and came back with saffron. There are cheaper things than watches. Although saffron's not that much cheaper than watches.
Yeah, if you had saffron by the weight of a a watch would be quite the investment if you got, bought that much saffron home.
Put it this way: 5 grams of saffron is even when it's cheap, is not cheap.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, no.
Great
If you had like
saffron,
a watch's weight worth of saffron, you'd probably, you wouldn't be far off. It's actually James has answered his own question here. My own question: I bought a Grand Seiko because my other Grand Seiko is in service limbo, and I wanted something to wear with a blue GS pin that matches a pair of blue Air Jordans.
Great, love that, James. Air Jordans all the way.
Yeah,
Grand Seiko.
Yeah. So SJ saying, will you try and find another Grand Seiko to like? I'm getting into the Evolution 9 Blue Divers. Do you know what? I really like that the Lake Sewer one.
Mm-hmm.
And they've got a cracking deal on one on Crown and Caliber. They've got one for like 7,500, which is way out of my price range. But considering they're like 9.5, I think, retail. And then somebody left a comment on my video saying that, I don't know how true this is unverified fact, but saying that Grand Seiko were telling their ADs that they can't negotiate on Grand Seiko prices anymore. I don't know how true that is, but
I love the Omo dial. That's my favorite one.
Yeah, that Lake Sewer one, I did see that one in person, and I did try it on, and it's the right size. It's titanium. It's the Tentograph as well was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know whether there's something about. I'm holding this Jack Mason because it has the same thing, but something about when I hold a watch in my hand, like Rolex, when I sort of hold it in the hand with the bracelet, and you can sort of feel the shape of the case and everything. I'm like weird with it. I can hold this one for ages, this Jack Mason, and the same with Rolex. Like there's something about putting a Rolex on that's like it's like a glove. I don't know how they do the bracelet and the cases on them, but anyway.
You are never try a Seamaster on a bracelet. That's all I can say, Sam.
Yeah, well, that
Rubber strap will suit you fine, but the bracelet you'll hate.
Yeah, Christopher Ward do a great job of that with their light catcher case. That that titanium diver that they very kindly sent me.
It actually, I think the light catcher case looks better in titanium because it's darker. So when it shines, it's
it's starting to get.
It's much more attractive.
Oh yeah, there you go. So James is saying Topper told me they are no longer allowed to discount Grand Seiko, but they might just be trying to squeeze the wallet. So this is the second person that said that. Oh, actually, here you go. So Aaron's saying my GSAD won't negotiate price, but gives perks like watch winders and cases and merch.
That's very much like Omega boutiques. They won't negotiate on price, but they'll give you freebies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I remember back in the day, one of my first sales jobs, I was working for an Apple reseller, and the Apple's margins people used to try and negotiate with us all the time, and Apple kept everything at a consistent They had a consistent margin that you made, and it was much less than 10%, we'll say. But then you had to do rebates back, so you couldn't negotiate the price. You would apply for a rebate back as a seller. So that's how they kept the prices so tight. Apple, so that's why you never get a deal on an Apple product even from a reseller. Okay, let's see if there's any. Yeah, let's have a look. So, Aaron's saying rich guy problems. Let's just see if there's any others. So, Underachieving Watch Collector saying if he was into Panerai, he could buy a dozen of them, and his wife would never know.
I'm into Panerai. I love them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jeremy saying my watches are almost all special occasion watches, Christmas, birthdays, anniversaries, and neither of us ever make secret big purchases. Yeah, no game playing. I'm the same. Yeah, I don't make.
That's great. That's a great way to go about your watch collecting. Special occasions, birthdays, Christmases, anniversaries, new jobs. Graduations, things like that.
Yeah, don't they say that's like Longines does so well in the is it Longines does so well in the Asian markets because it's like a graduation watch or something.
Watches to mark occasions by I think are great choices. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, or watches you've inherited as well. I mean, those ones I inherited from my relatives that mean a lot. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Did anybody? Is there any other stories that anybody else had seen that we've not covered yet? If not, I did spot another one. I forget whether it was on Monochrome or did you see, actually? Oh no, I don't know. There's a new G-Shock out that I really like the look of, but maybe that's for another time. Another question though: why is Hodinkee pumping Leica watches so much? I know they have like a partnership with them, but I think there'll be a day when Hodinkee is just articles on Leica and Brew watches. Yeah.
Well, Leica, in terms of their cameras, have positioned themselves as the lifestyle brand that Hodinkee thinks all of their readers aspire to.
Yeah, my dad's a he's a serious photographer, and he's got one Leica that he wears. But Leica was, a lot of history, isn't there? Like a lot of the Vietnam War photos. Or there was that photographer, wasn't there? Took a Leica to.
Well,
Vietnam.
they kind of took off around about World War II with the advent of 35mm, and at the time they had extremely good lenses, better than anybody else. But in terms of the lens quality, the rest of the world's caught up 20 years ago. But it's down to a lot of hype now. I think if you took two cameras from exactly the same spot in exactly the same photograph, I don't know now that you could tell one was taken with a Canon, a Nikon, or a Leica. Same aperture, same focal length, probably the same sensor as well. So it's really, really hard to differentiate yourself. Whereas in the past, Leica really did write the book on lens design.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, because they did that. They did a limited edition, didn't they? Hodinkee did a ghost version of one of the cameras, didn't they? I think.
I'm in the same boat with Leica as I am with Braun. I can't do it. It just sounds weird.
Well, yeah. There's a Leica store in Vegas, isn't there? That's the only one that I've ever seen, I think. Yeah, there's one in the Caesar's Palace. Or the Caesar's Forum.
There's a huge collector community for vintage Leica and vintage Leica lenses. There's a massive and ferociously fanatical collector market for the older Leicas.
So Orange Hand is saying, did we see the Hodinkee Longines Titanium GMT? I don't think I did. Is it this one that they were pumping? Maybe it is that one that they're pumping on their Oh, here we go. Yeah, Longines Spirit Zulu Time.
Very explorer-esque, very...
By Christopher Ward.
Yeah.
There's better Christopher Ward.
I like the Longines Zulu Time. I like the original one they did with the 5 stars at the bottom. Sorry. This has got different hands and a different sort of dial.
Yeah, and this is smaller as well. I think 39mm, quite small for Longines, isn't it? Or for the Zulu Time, I thought they were more
42-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually don't mind that. I think at 3,800's a bit rich for my liking.
It's a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think Longines were that expensive. In general, is it the Hodinkee factor that's making that so expensive?
No, the standard Hydra Conquest GMT is 3,500.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look at these. The Longines Legend Diver 3,200.
That came out in 39, didn't it? Yeah, that's with no date though, Sam. So
yeah, I've actually got my
the original Legend Diver had a date, didn't it?
Yeah, I've actually got one in for review from my sister's boyfriend Ross.
I think the heritage line that Longines do are great and great value for money as well. They do the tuxedo, they do the military I think that's a 1932, is it, or 38?
Yeah.
They do sector dial. They've got some lovely watches in the heritage range. And they're not priced too much, I don't think.
Yeah.
Probably about $2,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. We've got probably got time for another question, haven't we? Yep. So SJ saying, do you think Citizen has a watch guys leading them? I was at another watch store and the owner said he believes that Citizen does not listen to customers like Seiko does. That's interesting. The Seiko US team are awesome. I chat to them all the time. I've got quite a good relationship with them. I think that Citizen have got something for everyone, haven't they? And I think they do listen to. I think they do listen to the watch community because there's certainly over the last couple of years they've introduced more automatics back into the collection, haven't they? Because they used to have just that view. They had one diver for ages, a big diver. I forget what it was, but it had like the Panerai kind of thing on it. I forget the name of that diver, but that was like the only automatic they did for a long time, for years and years and years. But recently they've started to reintroduce back those divers that the British military used, those Citizen divers, and there's a lot more automatics in the range now, isn't there? I think.
I wonder if Citizen pay more attention to the Japanese market, whereas Seiko may have a more global outlook.
That might be a good answer to it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Mark.
But the size of them, though, they've been producing some that Skyhawk that I reviewed. Skyhawk, one of the ones. I mean, that was huge. That was massive. I've got some wrist shots on the channel. It's like a cuff almost. It's that big. I'm not sure that would have been necessarily targeted for Japanese. Okay.
But then a lot of the higher end ones are clearly Japanese.
Yes,
market.
the Citizen. Well, the Citizen you can only get it in Japan. Yeah, so you're right with the washi paper dial, which is a Japanese technique for making
and the
paper,
size and the biggest one of those is 40. There's 40, 39, 37 and a half.
That's a good point. Yeah, but I think
it's just how it's kind of the feel is they design for Japan first and hope it sticks with the rest of the world. It's just a feel I get from there.
I was going to say, and that's just a Japanese thing. I mean, Seiko does it too. All of their best limited editions are Japan exclusives, so they definitely love the homeland more than they love the rest of us.
Yeah, and I did see a lot of crazy. I did see a lot more a lot more different Citizens available when I was in Japan. But I think a lot. I mean, this is the one that's huge. The Skyhawk, the AT, that's massive. I think, and this GMT, I feel like they kind of combine the GMT craze with the integrated bracelet craze, which I wonder whether that's was more of a westernized phenomenon. They having the integrated bracelets.
I also saw the colored dial Oyster Perpetual lookalikes being very popular.
Yeah, they are. They've come to the US.
Yeah, they've been very popular.
Yeah, and this is that one, the automatic diver. I think there's a similar one that the British military used to use back in the day. But yeah, no, I think they've got a lot of stuff for everyone. I really like what they do, and even they're more. I don't know why they bother doing smartwatches, but they have a partnership with Disney. So when you go to the theme parks, there's just a whole separate range of just Disney specific ones that they do as well, and they own Bolivar as well, don't they? And they own Miyota, and they own Frederic Constant. I was on
Arnold and Son, I believe, too.
Oh yeah,
and La Joux.
Oh yeah. I was in I was just chatting to somebody who in a watch store or I forget where I was, and he was saying, he was polishing his watch. I'm like, what have you got there? It says Frederic Constant. I'm like, it's he says, oh yeah, I wear it because I'm a watch expert. I said, oh yeah, the Citizen own them, and he's like, no, they don't. I'm like, they do.
Yes, so they do.
Got my phone out and looked it up on the thing, and he's like, I didn't know that. I said, well, maybe I'm the watch expert.
I spoke to the CEO of Frederic Constant in Dubai. I got invited to help do a podcast with Ralph of Loom Plotters, and he's going, we are owned by Citizen, but they pretty much leave us alone so long as we hit our targets.
They're
So
beautiful.
it's very much a hand. If you're doing well, they'll leave you alone.
And that's how the best of those work, isn't it? They're beautiful. Those Frederick Constance in person, they're stunning. Some of them.
Just going back to launchings, I must agree with Bill, Jeremy, and who else is it? Nathan, the Ultrachron.
Yeah,
love that watch, but it's a little bit too expensive. Just a touch expensive.
Yeah, no. Watch. Chris had one.
Really?
Yeah, he ended up selling it, so I'm not sure exactly why. Maybe he just got it for a video. I think he had a vintage one. I'm not sure if he had. I think he had a vintage and a modern one.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I love that watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Lovely 70s aesthetic.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that was cool. Yeah, I don't think we've got any more questions coming through. We're at the hour. So thanks everyone for being so active in the comments section. And thanks to the panel. If you enjoyed this, we'd love it if you upvoted, liked the video, subscribed. Very much appreciated. We want to try and make a real push on the live streams next year, try and get the views up. We really appreciate everyone that joins. If you've got any suggestions for the live stream, let us know as well. You can email me at thecasualwatchreview@gmail.com. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks everyone.
Thanks everyone. Take care.